Hi everyone, welcome to Biology 105. I'm Professor Kettler. I'm shooting this video to give you an overview of the course and how to access your information that is really important to you, like labs and quizzes and discussions. So I'm logged in as a student right now, and the first thing that you see on the homepage is the announcements. These are really important. This is where I post all the information that you need to know about your labs, your coursework, any updates that happen to the course, which they do happen a lot. You need to check these every 1 to 2 days so that you don't miss any information. Now, whenever you go to the announcements, you can choose to click on the announcements, or you can scroll down, which I highly recommend you do because sometimes I have to post multiple announcements in one day. And it'll give you the first 3 announcements. Since this is the start of the course, you can only see 2, but when I log in as a professor, you'll be able to see more. Now, some students like to get their oldest one first, and then some students like to get their newest one first. So I'll show you how to do that. So what you'll need to do is scroll down to the bottom and tell it to show all announcements. And right now, it's showing you the oldest one first. If you want to change that, change the order of the announcements so that maybe you want to see the newest one first, you just click on this start date button and it will order them for you. And then if you want to go back, same thing. So some people find that really helpful to see which ones are happening first. And then if you want to go back and look at old ones, you can do it that way as well. So I'm going to go into the content. This is the main link that you will be using for the whole course, because whenever you go to the content, this is where you can see your syllabus, your e-text, and then all the modules. So there's 5 modules in this course. We're going to go ahead and click on the Start Here button. Now, when you first log in, it is going to ask you for an address. You need to put that in for your lab kit. So wherever you want your lab kit to go, that's the address you need to put in. Now, it cannot do a PO box, so it has to be an actual physical address. So that's the most important thing to address first. Then you're going to go to this Start Here button, and you're going to work your way through these links. Now, the most important ones is setting up your D2L email. This is really important because this is the only way that I can communicate with you. If you do not have this set up, then you're not going to get updates, you're not going to get communication from me, and you won't be able to contact me either. So this one is super important. The next one that's really important is the support services. We do offer tutoring for biology, so if you find that you need some extra help, you can always go here and get your questions answered. You're also always welcome to email me as well. That's what I'm here for, to help explain the content to you and answer any questions that you may have. Next up is the syllabus. So when we go into the syllabus, it kind of just gives you an overview of the course. So you click on these links and it'll take you to what you need. Course materials, we'll talk to you about the lab kit. If you want to see how you're graded, you can go to this grading and evaluation page, and at the bottom it gives you a summary of how much each assignment is worth and what that equates to for your overall grade. If you want to see how I grade you, you will go into the rubrics. There's a rubric for discussions, assignments, labs, and a formal lab report. And you'll kind of be able to view those. I always tell students that they should have those rubrics open when they are completing their assignment, because this is the checklist that I use to grade you. And I'll be showing you that in just a minute. And then your course schedule. This is super important because this lists all the due dates for all of your assignments. I highly recommend that you print this out, or that you get a planner and input all these dates. So that way you're organized and on track and understanding what you need. I've tried to give you an overview in how long the labs will take and if you need a lab kit or not. So that's also listed here, and which parts you need to do for the labs. So going back to the syllabus, I think that was everything we needed to cover with that. Yep. So your e-text, you don't really need this because in the module, we actually have imported the chapters that you need to read for that module in there. So this you don't really have to mess with. So we're going to go ahead and go into module 1, which is where we start. And typically what happens is that you'll have the reading packet. This is why I said you don't really need the e-text, because the reading packet is right here and it gives you the chapters that you need to read for this module. And then there's an exploration. The reading packet and the exploration is where your quiz questions come from. So it's really important that you do these things first before trying to do any quizzes or trying to do any assignments, because this is the information that you need in order to complete them to the best of your ability. So we'll go into discussions in a minute. I want to cover labs because that's normally where I get the most questions from. So there used to be a lab manual that listed all the labs and in a really complicated way, and students got really confused. So instead, I went ahead and combined the lab report for you, so that way you don't have to get confused with that. So what you'll do is you'll log into the labs. Now, lab 1, module 1 doesn't need a does not need a lab kit to complete it. So what you will do is you will download this link right here. And this is the lab report. This is not the instructions. This is what you're completing and turning in. And what you will do is when you click on this, you'll need to download it. And it will download to your computer in a zip file. So you'll need a program to open this. There's plenty of free zip extractors out there. The one that I use is called PZip, P-E-A, like pea in a pod, zip. It will open it for you. You'll just click on it and you'll tell it to extract this document. Typically, I extract it to the desktop, and then you'll have the document open on your desktop. And you'll open it and you'll just work through your lab and do all of your data in this report, and then eventually when you're done, you'll upload the assignment to this area right here. And you're uploading a document or a PDF file. Some labs require you to take pictures. You need to put those pictures in the document. You need to copy and paste them into the document. Some labs require you to make a graph. Same thing, you'll copy and paste the graph into the lab report document. So that's the lab report. Now, a lot of students are like, well, where do I get the instructions? So that is actually in these links right here. So when you click on this, it will take you to an overview of the lab, and it'll give you background information. So for instance, in lab 1, you're answering questions about hypothesis, variables, positive and negative controls, all this stuff. So you'll go through this. Just it gives you information, so it's all about learning it. Then you'll go to this little area right here that says assignments and procedures. This is your lab procedures. You do not have to worry about this. This is the document that I made for you, and this is the complicated one. So just pretend like this does not exist. So whenever you're completing the exercises, you'll click on it, and then here is your instructions. Okay, you're not filling anything out here. Remember, you are filling it out in the combined lab report. Okay, so sorry that it might be a little complicated, but this is how CCC Online does it. So we're going to work with what we got. All right, so that is how to get into your labs and get the instructions in the lab report that you need to have. Now, what I try to do is I try to tell you how long each lab is. So for instance, in module 2, I say, hey, this takes 3 to 4 days to complete, so you have to start early. So pay close attention to that. And then I tell you which parts you need to complete. Okay, so we're going to go back to module 1. Like I said, reading and exploration is what you should always do first because that gives you all your background information. Your discussions, you can view them here, or you can go to the discussion list at the top. This will give you all the discussions so that you can see everything. You will not have access to be able to post until certain dates. So like let's say for this one, it doesn't become unlocked until Sunday. So you can't post anything until this date. You will not be able to see anyone's posts until you post first. So you can't go in and look at, okay, what are all my classmates saying first, and then I'm going to make my post. You won't be able to see it until you post yours. It's kind of like a plagiarism preventative. So that's how you see your discussions. I'm going to go back into the module. Written investigations are your assignments. Those are pretty straightforward. The instructions are here, and then you upload them here. Oh, I did want to look at the rubric. That's right. So when you go in to upload an assignment, the rubric will always be in the bottom corner whenever you open it. This is what I tell students they need to have open for any graded assignment because this is a checklist. So this will tell you, hey, do you have all of these things and are you doing them, to this highly proficient column? So that way you understand what the expectations are and what should be in the lab report or in the discussion or whatever it is that you are trying to complete. And then, of course, if you have any questions at all, you can always email me to ask. And then finally, your quizzes are down here. It's pretty straightforward. You just click on it. There will be announcements that tell you how many questions are on the quiz and how long you have to take them. That information is not here. So I can't add it. I tried to, and it just didn't work out. So you can also always click here for your assignments. This tells you, okay, here's your assignment, here's your lab, this is when it's due. Quizzes. So if you just want a shortcut, this is where you can go instead of having to go into the module itself. Your grades will be listed here. I try to have grades done the Monday after the module is due, or whenever I try to grade as quickly as I can. You'll have the points, what that equates to as a percentage, and then any feedback I give you will be in the assessment column. I might say something like view rubric, like your feedback is in the rubric, and there will be a little button with a rubric icon that you click on, and then it'll take you inside the rubric to view the feedback. You can go to the class list to email me. You'll go to where my name is. You'll see your other classmates as well, and you'll just say, hey, I need to send an internal message, and that's how I'll get the email. All right, so we're going to go back to the course home. I'm going to log in as a professor now, so that way you can see something that I want to show you in regards to the lab kit and the lab reports. So your lab kit, these announcements aren't posted yet. That's why you can't see it as a student. Your lab kit is not going to be mailed to you until after the drop date. Drop date's February 6th. It takes about 7 to 10 days to get to you. The most important thing is you do not need a lab kit for Module 1. If the lab kits for whatever reason come in late or something like that, then I will most likely change the due dates for the lab 2. So you don't have to stress about that. Just your most important job is to get that mailing address in there. You already paid for the lab kit when you paid for this course, so nothing should prevent you from doing this. And then the last thing I want to cover is that for labs, I will always post, where is it? Sorry. I will always post what I expect. So I'll always post an overview that you can see, and it'll include that combined lab report, and then I tell you what I want you to do with the lab report. So always look to the class announcement.